am Alexandra Proka. I am the host of the Be Inspired, Be Empowered video interviews hosted by Women in Localize. And today I have the pleasure to talk with Chiara Fornasero, who is from Italy, but she lives in California. She has a very solid and interesting career in localization, spending over 13 years. From Italian language tester to program manager to customer service rep to creating one of the most robust localization programs while she took the reins of localization at WhatsApp, then to permaculture. That means regenerative agriculture. Yes, that is correct, and we'll talk about that. And now back to creating a localization program at Genentech. She has a very inspiring career story, and I'm super excited to poke a little today into it. Welcome, Chiara.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. It's a pleasure to be here chatting with you.
Great to see you. And you're also a member of Women in Localization, correct?
Yes, I've been a member for a very long time and benefited from this great community for over 8 years now.
Yeah, great. I completely support the fact that it's a great community. We know that. So I mentioned I went a little bit through your career, which is very interesting. So you started as a QA tester for Apple, then moved on to being a language manager, and then program manager at Yahoo, then moved to customer support for WhatsApp, and then build a localization program at WhatsApp. So tell us a little bit more what's behind such an interesting career twist and your choices, and what led to this meandering, which is not typical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think meandering is a good way to put it. I saw Natalie Kelly talked about having a geometric career instead of a linear career progression. And I feel like that's really been my story as well. So I have a background in translation, and that's how I started by being really passionate about bridging communications issues and helping people get together, people from different cultures, and bridging communication that way. And when I moved to the US after a small stint at a startup, I started as a tester, and really that opened the idea of localization to me. I had a very traditional translation education and didn't really know much about localization, but just working as a tester really helped me learn a lot about that and opened the doors then to move to a company like Yahoo, where there was a very well-established localization program, and I helped refine aspects around the language management team, and then decided to move to WhatsApp. The move to WhatsApp is the one that surprised people a little bit, because by that time I was a program manager at Yahoo, and I had a pretty solid role there. But I decided to join WhatsApp as a customer support representative. So when I joined, I was just answering 5,000 emails a week for Italians struggling to use WhatsApp as a product. And really what motivated me there was truly the passion for the company, the product, and the mission of the company to really be able to provide end-to-end encrypted and private communication to people. So that was really what motivated me. And at the same time, when I joined and they didn't have a localization team, I was able to leverage the experience from what I had learned before, being part of mature localization programs, to suggest maybe we could do things differently. Maybe we could implement practices that are going to help you serve our users and help us as a company really drive our mission to provide private communication to users around the world. And so that's a little bit how I often talk about taking what looks like a step back on paper to then open new doors and new opportunities. So taking a role that was not necessarily related to localization, like being a customer support rep, and then weaving your way into the organization, seeing what are the issues that you are particularly fit to solve, because you have a set of skills that can be helpful, and then not being afraid to bring that up and help solve those problems, right? Once I started to share a little bit about my experience, obviously the leadership team was very excited. They were like, yeah, it sounds like you can really help us. Go and figure it out, right?
Okay, I want to pause,
Um,
go back a little, go deeper into this. So you're at WhatsApp. You know you
mhm,
had localization experience
mhm,
from Yahoo and from before. So you're pretty solid and confident in your skills, right?
mhm.
You added the curiosity of seeing the customer support side. Okay. But now, how did you gather the courage to go and talk to the leadership and tell them that there's a better way out there?
Yeah. I think that's really on one, it was really driven by the passion for the mission. And WhatsApp was and still is, as far as I know, a really value-driven company. And one of the value was think global. So for me, it wasn't necessarily, it didn't feel like a big step, or I didn't feel hesitant in sharing. I think there's a better way for us to think globally, or this is how other companies have thought globally, and how um, we can really help drive the mission a little bit more effectively. And that was the piece number one. So I would say the environment itself was already conducive to that. And then the other piece is that I was working with people that shared my same passion. There were several people within the customer support team that had a localization background. And so they were also, really pushing for me to speak up and share what I thought. So I felt encouraged by them as well, and it didn't really feel as much as a daunting task, as in I am the one who's now going to talk to leadership and I am convincing them about my idea. It felt more like there's a lot of really smart people here who see the same issues and have a similar feeling about potential solutions, and feeling like a spokesperson for them, I think really helped me gather that courage, as you mentioned, to just
Mhm.
yeah, come up with a presentation and share it with the leadership team, um, as a suggestion, basically.
So you are in an environment where grain minds think alike, and also it was a
Hmm.
very fertile environment for you
Yeah,
to develop the program.
yeah, for
But
sure.
on top, what I'm trying to capture here is that it was a combination of skill, determination,
Hmm.
passion, adherence to the value and missions, combined with being at the right time at the right place, right?
Yeah.
So you went on and developed a full localization program in WhatsApp, right? So tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, after that conversation, we basically started deciding, making the decision that we should have a localization team. And the founding people of this localization team were four customer support agents that had localization experience. And so we started as this team of four and started to really organize and divide and conquer in terms of how to bring this vision ahead. Then over time, I started to develop a little bit more as a leader within the group, and then officially started to learn more about people management, and ultimately became a manager for the team itself. And then at that point, it really was about thinking through people, process structure, and tools, and really putting those pillars in place to think about how do we build solid foundations to then build upon, over time. And so really focusing on those key pieces is what helped us then propel the team forward. At the beginning, it was a very startup-y process, but we had a clear idea of, yes, it might look a little bit chaotic now, but we know what the end state should look like. We know that we need to have solid tools. We know we need to have a very solid team with this specific type of skill set and this specific type of approach and mentality, I would say, approach to work, and work ethics. And then from there, building relationship with vendors and growing it, consistently over there. So I would say those were really the pillars that helped me um, set the structure and then grow it over time.
You keep mentioning we, you refer to we. So
Hmm.
that tells me that the people you work with are important. So tell me more
Yeah.
about how important are the people in one's team,
Yeah.
especially when they build a program.
Yeah. I think they're everything, in my opinion. You can have the best strategy possible. You can have the best tools available. You can have the biggest budget. But if you don't have the right people, and especially you don't build that level of trust with the people, with the team, and that feeling of being a we, you're not going to go anywhere. So for me, that's really been one of the key drivers of really one thinking through who are the people who can help that have the right skill set, but mostly who are the people who have the right mindset,
Mm.
who have that curiosity, that open mindedness, and also that um, I would say that they are hungry for improving things and they are hungry for making things better for the product and the users. So I think that for me, really, the people are the key part of it. And ultimately, as a people manager, you really need to learn how to make sure that you put people in the best position to succeed, because ultimately when everyone is put in the best position to succeed, the overall team succeeds and the overall goals are achieved. We had a bit of a saying within our team that we rise together or we fail together. And I truly believe that that's what made our WhatsApp team so tight knit and so effective and successful, because in the span of 6 years, we went from not having a team, not having professional linguists, not having professional tools, to having a very robust and well oiled machine that was producing millions of words in 68 languages um, on a regular basis. And that was really due to the team, the trust, and in trying to focus on putting people in the conditions to succeed.
That sounds wonderful. Sounds like a great mindset, and it sounds
Mm,
like again you built a successful team there at WhatsApp. So you had a program that covered 68 languages.
hmm.
You had a great team, and then you left.
Yeah, yeah, true.
What's
True.
more?
It's
Why
like,
did you
yeah,
go? Because
I had the
that's where it
dream
becomes
job.
interesting.
Yeah, the dream job with the dream team on the dream product. And yet I was still dreaming of other things as well. I'm always been a bit of a dreamer, and I'm a very curious person. For a very long time, I had been thinking, uh, I had a bit of background anxiety around climate change and really the future of the world, uh, and what climate change is going to bring to us. And so I did a lot of studying on the side, mostly out of curiosity. And then my family in Italy has a farm. And I've always had the background anxiety of one day I'm going to be the steward of my ancestors' land. And I'm not sure that I have the skills to handle it in a way that really, makes that really renders justice to the work that my grandparents and great grandparents did, and that is also sustainable for the future. And so I I had been thinking for a long time, I want to take a break and just study more about permaculture and regenerative agriculture. And I was very aware that there would never be a good time to live. There's always more things that you can do. There's always this feeling that people might need you. But ultimately, in 2023, I felt that my team was in a really good space. We had built a mature program. People were in a really good space from a career trajectory. Um, And I felt that personally I had achieved what I had set my mind to, which was to build something solid that I could feel proud of. And so I thought there's never going to be a good time. I might as well do it now that I don't have kids. I have the time. I have a personal situation that allows me that freedom, and that might not be true forever. And then there's also been personal things that really made me think about it. Family members having health issues, and other things in your life that really make you reflect on what matters in life, and when should you take risks, and when should you take risks to be happy, to ultimately live the life that you're going to be happy and proud of. And so that really was the main driver to make that very, very difficult and suffer decision.
Okay, we're gonna move on, but before that, I want to make a comment. It sounds like a very healthy way of dealing with midlife crisis.
Yeah, probably.
Go and study
Yeah.
something. Go and learn new skills. I'm
Yeah.
gonna change. I'm gonna
Yeah.
become an expert in
Yeah.
permaculture, right? That's
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
inspirational. And thank you for sharing that. And yet, just recently, you changed gears again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I had set myself the goal of taking 1 year off to just literally have fun and learn something new. And that's what I did. And then after about a year, I honestly started to feel a bit itchy. I started to feel like, okay, even if I was working in the permaculture space and I started my little company doing permaculture consulting, I somehow missed a little bit of the corporate speed and being part of a team, being part of a group where you're building something together and you get to see the results a little bit faster than trying to solve climate change one permaculture client at a time. And so that's when I started to again look for an opportunity um, that felt aligned with what I needed in that moment. And also my personal situation changed. My husband decided to leave his job to start his own AI startup. So again, it's a bit of a mix of personal decisions and external factors that I think guide you through life, as well as you internally feeling like, yeah, it's the right time. I'm starting to feel like I want to get back into program management. I want to get back into building a set of goals and trying to achieve them and build a vision, right? So I think it's been a bit of a mix. And then that's how I was really fortunate um, to find this opportunity at Genentech that reminded me a little bit of the early days of WhatsApp, of a well-established company trying to build a transition program from scratch. And so I decided to get on board.
Great. So that's where you're at right now. You're
Yeah.
building a localization program at Genentech.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I am sensing that you are leading your both teams and your career with a lot of authenticity and curiosity. So these are two values that seem to drive you.
Mhm.
What other values do you add to this mix, and why these two are so important for you? There's two questions, I know, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Um, yeah, authenticity and curiosity for sure. Both of which I felt like I had to learn over time. It didn't come immediately. Um, and then I would say the other value for me, it's really surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me and that are truly legitimate good human beings that I know are going to have my back and that I know are going to have everybody else's back. For me, that's really been true in how I've been hiring and creating teams, really focusing on people that have the that ability to work collaboratively, that are driven by a certain set of by a certain type of energy, that get energy by building something together, that get energy by seeing others succeed, that get energy from achieving something that helps somebody else. I think, I don't know that there is one word to describe that value, but I think it's definitely something that over the years I found myself doing consistently. And if I think about my experience here at Genentech, it's the same. It's part of the reason that attracted me to join this team. Getting that feeling from the people in the team that there are people who really want to help each other and work together on achieving whatever goals they have.
Sounds wonderful. I usually like to ask this question to my interviewees. If there was a time that you wanted to quit, and what I'm talking about, it's not necessarily what you did, like, oh, okay, I'm quitting because I'm at the when I'm on a high, right? A time when you felt overwhelmed, a time when you felt I don't have a solution to this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If you had those times, maybe you did not have them,
Mhm.
how did you deal with them and what did you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely feel like there have been times of maybe not necessarily quitting, but that idea of giving up has definitely um, come up throughout my career. I feel probably early in my career as a people manager, there had been really challenging situations that I had to deal with that made me feel overwhelmed. And I think in those situations, um, there's a few things that I did that I think worked, and a few things that I would like to tell my younger self to do differently. Um, the things that I would like to do differently are definitely being not being so afraid to be vulnerable. And that goes back to my idea of leading with authenticity is something that took time to really develop. Not being afraid to be vulnerable, not being afraid to ask for help, and doing the right kind of self self work to understand what help you really need, not just the help you want in the moment, but doing some self-reflection to really understand what is it that you need, regardless of what you want.
Mhm.
I think that's probably something that I would do differently. And other things that help me stay resilient, I think are just taking a step back from time to time, whether it was taking some time off or spending time with friends or spending time in my hobbies, gardening, growing food, learning herbalism, having something that was a bit separate from that problem at hand that I was solving and that had nothing to do with it, but that was giving me energy. I think that's something that definitely helped me.
That's great. Thank you. Another question that I have that's a little related, but not if it's not the same question is if you had a situation in your career when you hesitated and did not make the right decision and you wish things had turned out differently, if you
Hmm.
can tell us a little bit about that and how you, uh, again, how the you nowadays would do things
Hmm.
differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, really good question. And happened that situation of hesitating and overthinking happened several times. I am that kind of person that overthinks. Um, I think the red thread across all of the situations that come to mind where I hesitated is probably being afraid to take risks and trying to get everything sorted out and planned and understood as much as possible before taking a risk. I think that there's obviously some wisdom in not just taking risks for the sake of taking risks, but there needs to be a good balance on on really again doing that self-reflection and self-talk to yourself, knowing that you'll never have all the information you need to make the perfect decision. So at some point, you need to use the information you have and take the risk and make the decision. Um, Obviously, there's different ways of thinking about this, but reminding yourself that most decisions are reversible and most decisions are just a stepping stone to several other decisions is a good reminder in being more comfortable with taking risks. Oftentimes, not making a decision is a lot worse than making the wrong decision.
Absolutely. I'll put that in my back pocket, actually my front pocket. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners will as well. What is the best career advice you can give someone that you can think of?
Best career advice.
Take risks.
Yeah, maybe take calculated risks. But I don't think that would be it. I think the best career advice that I have for people is, yeah, always treat people as people. We live in an environment, we live in working environments where things can get really tense. There's a lot of pressure. And sometimes you forget that you are dealing with people that have, just as you, fears, dreams, desires, goals. So I think that the best career advice that I would give is don't forget to really nurture the human side inside you, and to always treat everybody else with that mindset as well, regardless of how stressful or high pressure the situation you might be in is.
Thank you. How do you personally define success?
Mm. Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, I know that this might sound um, a little extreme, but I I really think about what do I want people to say on my funeral. I really think that that's what drives me in thinking about what does success mean to me. What am I going to care about what they say? I'm probably not going to care about them talking about my career achievements or the promotion that I got or whatever happened in a specific moment in my life. It's probably more going to be, she was a good person. She helped me out when I needed help. She did something that helped a lot of people or helped humanity or helped make this world a little bit better than yesterday. And so to me, that's what successful means. Thinking about what I've done today and feeling like I'm gonna be proud of this. If somebody talks about this on my funeral, that's probably um, what makes me think about success.
That is a wonderful definition of success. And actually, it goes very well with what I heard recently at a conference for women. It was about how do you establish leadership in a new workplace. And one of the answers that I absolutely love, and I'm going to keep quoting it, is to lead as if you're writing your leadership obituary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
totally on that mindset.
yeah.
Okay, I have 3 rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
So tell us a quote that resonates with you and why.
A quote that resonates with me would be, actually, I have it here.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, calm
Calm seas
seas never
never
make
move.
skilled sailors.
Oh,
So this is actually a little tile that Maria Hong, one of the founding members of the localization team at WhatsApp, gave me. Calm seas never make skilled sailors. I swear by it.
great. Couldn't agree more. Second, what book is on your nightstand?
Right now, it's a book called A Call to Farms by Jennifer Grayson. It's a book around profiles of young farmers in the United States and the challenges they're facing.
I see. So you're not completely removed from that
No,
world.
I
Yeah,
still, yeah, I
it's on your
still,
nightstand.
yeah.
Okay, and the last rapid fire question is, are you listening to podcasts and do you have any recommendations for our listeners?
Yes, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Again, wide variety from herbalism to economics. Some of the ones that I enjoyed the most recently are the podcasts from The Economists. They have several different series that I really enjoyed. And then I like listening to podcasts about different cultures or from different cultures. So, Chinese Whispers is a podcast from The Spectator that I really like to learn more about current day China. Affaires étrangères by Christine Locrent is another one that I listen to learn more about the French and European perspective around public international relations. And then one that I just like to listen to because I'm a nerd is called Acquired. It's a podcast where two VC investors talk about the history of some of the greatest companies out there.
Sounds great. That has been an amazing interview, Chiara. I'm so happy we got to sit down and talk about it. And I'm sure that our listeners will get a lot of inspiring ideas from our conversation. And good luck with your localization program at Genentech.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to, yeah, to participate in this great community that is Women in Localization.